What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Today I want to talk about rockets, and I want to specifically talk about PvP rocket launchers. Now, earlier in the week, I made a video talking about my top 5 favorite legendary weapons in the Crucible, and in it, I singled out the Radegast Fury as my favorite rocket launcher in the game, and there's a reason for that. If you look at the stats, the blast radius and the velocity are nearly maxed out, and that makes it very, very powerful inside of the Crucible, because not only do you have more of a chance of killing something you get close to, but the velocity gets that rocket there faster, making it A, harder to avoid, and B, easier to aim. Now, mine is a nearly perfect roll. If I could change one thing, I would have warhead veneers instead of hard launch, which would give me just a little more velocity, but it's not worth re-rolling because it's just a sliver more velocity. But one of the reasons I like this so much is because the roll is nearly perfect. I've got tripod, so my rocket launcher actually holds 3 rockets, so I can just fire them off. Boom, 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 and get those rapid kills. I've got javelin that increases the velocity tremendously. You can see that big jump there. And of course, grenades and horseshoes, which means all I have to do is get close to my enemy with the rocket and it will explode. And with that big blast radius, it's almost guaranteed to kill. It's more than likely gonna get that kill. It's a very powerful blast. Now, in my video where I detailed my top 5 favorite legendaries for the Crucible, a lot of people were like, hey, what about Tomorrow's Answer? What about the Fear? What about, the Ash Factory? What about the Exodus plan? So I'm gonna go through those rockets and tell you why the Radegast Fury was actually my favorite. So first off, let's start off with the Fear. Exodus plan is essentially an identical rocket launcher to the Fear. If you look at my roll on the Fear, you'll see that it's identical to the one that I have on Radegast Fury. I have hard launch, tripod, javelin, and grenades and horseshoes. Now again, I don't have warhead veneers on this one, but the roll was good enough that I ran with it. Now, if you compare this to the Radegast Fury, you're going to see that blast radius is way higher on the Radegast Fury. Now, I do get a couple of benefits out of the Fear. A faster fire rate is going to come in handy, but to me, when I fire that rocket, I want to be guaranteed that kill, and with the Fear, there's a little bit less of a chance that I'll get that kill when my rocket goes off because that blast radius is just a bit smaller. So in this comparison, I'm definitely going to go with the Radegast Fury over the Fear. The next rocket launcher we're going to look at is Tomorrow's Answer. Now, Tomorrow's Answer is a very good rocket launcher. It's earned from the Trials of Osiris, but it's still just not quite as good as the Radegast Fury, and you can see that by just comparing the two. More blast radius, more velocity from Radegast Fury. Now, Tomorrow's Answer can't be re-rolled, but if you look at the roll, it's actually got about a perfect roll on it. And actually, you can see here the difference between hard launch and warhead veneers. So it's not a big difference. You really do just get a sliver more velocity, but I think it's worth it to use it. Tripod, javelin, and grenades and horseshoes. So again, it is a perfect roll, what I would consider a perfect roll on a rocket launcher. But when you compare it to the Radegast Fury, it's not as good, right? It's close, but it's not as good. Now, the next one I want to take a look at is the Ash Factory, and this is one that I kind of overlooked. This is a very good rocket launcher. You're going to have to excuse the roll I have on here. What I was trying to get were warhead veneers and javelin, so I could really take a look at this blast radius and velocity to directly compare it to my Radegast Fury. And what I found is it's essentially the exact same rocket launcher. If you compare these two side by side, you're going to see you give up a little bit of stability with the Radegast Fury, but you get a little faster reload speed. So even though the Ash Factory is almost identical, I'm going to say I'd rather have reload speed over stability on a rocket launcher. So I'm going to stick with my pick for the best rocket launcher, the best legendary rocket launcher in the game being Radegast Fury. However, I will say the Ash Factory is just, it's right there. But the other ones, stuff like the Fear, stuff like Exodus Plan, and stuff like Tomorrow's Answer are demonstrably not as good. You could make an argument for Tomorrow's Answer, saying the rate of fire is going to make it a little more deadly, but I'm still going to pick with Radegast Fury myself. I think that's just the better rocket launcher at this point. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope that clears up some questions that you guys had for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hit that like button if you like this video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time.